What's up guys, it's Austin. Today I'm gonna be talking about my Banff Springs Haunted Hotel footage that I got last year when I did my series overnight at the most haunted hotel in Canada that probably has the most myths, the most legends of probably any hotel in Canada. I went there and tried to uncover some of it. So let's start with number one. I knew the first myth, the first legend I wanted to tackle. And I'm just like, I need to go back to room 873. Missing room 873. Everybody talks about this room all the time. They don't know if it's truly haunted or not. Some people think it is, some people think it isn't. And I have every reason to think that it is. So I went up to missing room 873 and I put my REM pod in front of the door, which is a physical touch device. Basically what it does, if a spirit goes up to it or interacts with it, it's gonna beep, it's gonna go off. It also has temperature, but I did not have the temperature setting on. I really wanted to know if this room was actually haunted. I need to know that there's some kind of entity or spirit behind this wall. So the story behind missing room 873, there was supposedly a family that got murdered in there, allegedly. I'm not saying this is for fact because nobody truly knows. I actually got evidence at this room. I asked if there was some kind of spirit on the other side of the wall, because that's what everybody wants to know. People want to know, is there a spirit on the other end of this wall? And the thing about missing room 873, there's a big secret behind it. So REM pod starts going off after I ask if there's a spirit outside of this weird room. Are there spirits behind this wall? Oh my God. Is there anything bad on the other side of this wall? Any bad spirits? Make that REM pod go off. Is there something good in this room? It just stopped going off. Oh, it just went off. I'm just like, okay, so there is something on the other side of this door, but it could be an egregore spirit. An egregore is a thought form spirit. It's basically some spirit that people thought up in their head and they're thinking that the room is super haunted when it could have not have been, and now it's all of a sudden haunted because you kept on thinking about it. You made your intentions clear that you think this room is haunted and now it's haunted. I'm not saying the spirit behind the door is fake because obviously it communicated. But what I'm saying is when people think of something like a false spirit that really isn't there for so long and they put that energy into it thinking this room is haunted, this room is haunted, spirits know what we're saying. So the REM pod is going off. I'm like, okay, that is pretty solid evidence that there's probably something behind this door. Every time I asked a question, REM pod would go off every time. On command, I'd be like, is there something here? REM pod goes off. So I took a break for a second. I walked around the 8th floor, around where 873 is. I'm like, hang on, before I leave the room, let me go back to it and get like a double confirmation that there's something there. I want to get double the evidence that there's something truly there. So I go back and I'm pretty sure what I said was, if there is some kind of spirit or entity on the other side of this wall, please make the REM pod go off. And it goes off again. One more time, if there's something behind this door, a ghost, a spirit, entity or something, make that REM pod on the floor go off. What the I'm like, okay, that I cannot explain. So for all you people wondering if room 873 is haunted, yeah, it's haunted. We don't know if it's a demon. It could very well be demonic because it came out of nowhere. So this big secret that I was just about to reveal about 873, 875 would be the room right next to it. Okay, let's say 873 is right here. 875 is right next to it on the right-hand side of it. What I've seen online, when you go into 875, you go straight and to the left. And your bed where you sleep is so far to the left that you're in 873 where it used to be. It's insane to me because what they did, they took out the door because there was so much activity happening behind that wall, or what people thought was happening behind that wall, and they just made it into a bigger room. So 875 is 873. Wrap your mind around that. They actually did that. So you're secretly sleeping in the possible murder room or with this egregore spirit and not even knowing. And I've heard that when people knock on the wall where the door used to be, they sometimes get knocks back. Not because there's someone staying in there. There's been times where people have not been staying in room 875/873 and they got knocks back. There is the 873 myth, basically almost solved. Now what I want to talk about is the bride staircase. This is another big legend about the hotel. So this couple, on their wedding day, had a very tragic thing happen. They had candles going up the whole entire staircase. The bride was walking down the staircase and tripped on her dress or something. I think her dress also brushed up against one of the candles, lit on fire, and that freaked her out so much that she tripped and fell and broke her neck. It's either that or she just tripped and fell and broke her neck. People think that this is a residual haunting, which a residual haunting, what that is basically something very traumatic happens, the person dies, and then their spirit is just constantly reliving that event over and over and over. That's what a residual haunting is. It's like a videotape. So basically the spirit that interacts with you isn't really interacting with you much. Who knows what time the wedding was? Like if you put a device on the stairs and she just so happens to be walking down experiencing that same death at that very moment, you wouldn't know unless you set your device on the stairs. And that's what I did. But here's the thing why I don't think it's a residual haunting. The bride actually communicated with me. That's why I think this is not a residual haunting, and you could tell it was intelligent. A residual haunting is, like I said, something that happens in a loop. It's not going to have consistent communication over and over and over again like that. Yeah, you'll see things. You'll probably see her walking down and up the stairs, whatever. But like the point is, she's not going to be constantly communicating with you. That is what a residual haunting is, and that's what people think is going on at the stairs. So I put my REM pod on the stairs, amongst many other places, but it was going off on the stairs and she was answering me. Bird, there's a bride down here. Do you want to make this EMF meter go off? Or you can make that REM pod go off if you're here. Just gotta go near it. Oh my god, just listen to me. If this is the bride I'm talking to, do you like it here? Or do you not like it here at this hotel? If you don't like it, oh, you don't like it here. I then brought it over to this little table beside the staircase. I think she plainly just said no, she doesn't like to be at the hotel. Is the bride still here? Holy Nothing's coming through the spirit box at all. Do you not like it here because you died in a tragic way on these stairs? Please give me a sign if that's true. This final part of the night, the finale, the big unexplainable footage. I got so much footage throughout this hotel to prove that it's the most haunted hotel in Canada. I went up to this other area. It's kind of near the medieval theme section. The whole entire hotel is medieval themed. There's like knight armor everywhere and like all kinds of cool stuff. The craziest thing is a stranger came up to me, asked if he could ghost hunt with me. I said yes. We're standing in front of this mirror talking about ghost stories, and remember, mirrors are portals. Mirrors are portals to the other side. There was one mirror sitting there. I had a very off vibe about it. I'm just like, I bet you anything that REM pod is gonna probably go off in front of it. And it did for a while. But when the stranger came and we were starting to talk about our own experiences, I think the spirits in the Banff Hotel were triggered by it, and it started going off wild, like just crazy. All the lights pretty much. Holy oh. That scared the shit out of me. Oh god.
Let's stand back.
It probably knows we're talking about that shit.
Oh wow.
Holy that's the best it's gone all night. That's the holy that's the craziest it's gone all night, I swear to god.
Floor 2.
What the The stranger I was with was freaking out, and I was freaking out. I'm just like, there's no way, this is the craziest it's gone all night. What is happening right now? And he's just like, why don't we go to the staircase? And I thought, okay, like I got some activity there. So we went to the staircase. We went to a different part of the hotel where these employees were. We asked them, we're just like, are there any like haunted spots in this hotel that we could film at? This one guy comes out and he's just like, well, there's the bride stairs over here. And I told him, yeah, we got lots of evidence at the staircase. And he's like, but there's also the ballroom over here. And he starts walking us over there, starts walking us towards the ballroom, which keep in mind, that's also where the bride is seen. He's walking us over here. I did not expect him to do this. He goes up to the big double doors of the ballroom and unlocks it for us. We literally got secret access to this ballroom. I've never had that kind of a treatment ever for any of my videos, where somebody is just like, oh yeah, you can go into this locked ballroom at night where no one is allowed into after hours, after it being closed and locked. This employee was so cool, and we have it all on camera. So we're in there and we're just like, we're in the dark. And this whole time I'm thinking, what if we communicate with the bride even better in here? Like, what if we hear her? What if we, what if we experience her even better in here? That's what I'm thinking the whole time. And we're just like, okay, let's just sit at this table in the ballroom and try and communicate with whatever's in here. So there's this corner across from us that we just have a weird vibe about. And I'm just like, if anything happens in this room, I feel like it's gonna be in that corner. I have a really off vibe from that area right there specifically. Yeah, it's like right over in here, like right by this thing, almost right beside the double doors. It feels very weird over there. And guys, the ballroom had so much energy was in there. You could feel the energy in that ballroom. It was wild. There was definitely spirits in there with us. You could feel it. I can't explain how it felt because you would have to just be there for yourself, but there is literally something in there with us and it was powerful. We're just like, okay, anything happens, it's gonna be in that corner. This is where we start experiencing the most wild night we've probably ever had at this hotel. So at this point, we're thinking, nobody has ever filmed a video like this in the ballroom. No one's ever gotten this kind of access into this ballroom. No one has put this on YouTube before at night in this specific area. Like, this is big. Something's gotta happen tonight. Like, we gotta leave with something in this ballroom. We start hearing this sound of wind. Now you're probably thinking, there was probably wind outside. No. I went up to the window halfway through it making this noise. There was zero wind. The tree was only moving like slightly. Like there was a light breeze. For it to produce the wind noise that we were hearing, it would have to be like whooshing, like really loud. And I'm just like, what the f is that? What the f is that? Is that the wind? I hope that's the wind. You just hear a woo. What the hell? It's like a little windy, but it's not enough to make that noise, no. So we're just sitting there, almost shitting ourselves, and I'm just like, that's wind noise being produced without there being any wind. What the f? That screeching noise just went off right as I said that. What the f is that? And when we got let into this ballroom, I'm thinking, I wonder if we'll like hear the bride in here or something, like footsteps and stuff like that, You won't believe what happens next. After this wind sound, and by the way, there's no one in that corner room where all this activity is coming from. That is where the wind is coming from. Wind, if you want to even call it that. Not even a few minutes after that, we hear footsteps, legit footsteps. No employees were around, nobody was with us, and it was happening in that corner, and it literally sounded like the bride was walking around in high heels. What the f? That was a footstep.
Yeah, you hear that?
Guys, there's footsteps and that weird f***ing noise coming from that corner.
Hello?
Dude. Holy fuck, did you just hear that? Oh, please tell me that's a person. I'm just like thinking, is that the bride walking into the ballroom? Because she is seen in the ballroom at night. If you guys thought all that evidence so far is crazy, get this. Another few minutes go by. The stranger that I'm with, he starts hearing this sound, and it sounds like glass tingling or tinkling or whatever. I start hearing it. I'm like, what is that? So I look up above me, and it's the chandelier.
Well, it sounded like the chandeliers too. I could hear it tingling a little bit in the far ones.
The chandeliers are tingling?
Well, you could just...
Yeah, guys, so like above us are like these glass little chandelier things, and there's like little itty bitty individual pieces of glass, and they're tingling right now. The glass pieces on the chandelier are making noise.
The chandelier.
Yeah. Those little pieces on the chandelier are f***ing moving and we can hear it. Dude, that's never happened to me before. That's new. Now you're probably thinking there's probably an air vent turned on in the room. There's a window open. No windows were open and none of the air vents were going because there was no one that was supposed to be in there. They locked up the ballroom. They turned off the air vents. There was nobody in there. And after the chandelier was done tingling and everything, REM pod stopped. Everything stopped. Footsteps, the wind noise, everything stopped and the energy left the room. The room was completely just done. It was like the spirits came in, gave us what we wanted, and left. And that right there concludes the evidence. That is all the evidence I caught at the Banff Springs Haunted Hotel. And yeah, that's it. Don't forget to please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.